How are you guys doing? Well, today we're going to talk about watches that are worn by fictional characters and by billionaires. And are these watches better because they're worn by billionaires and fictional characters? Well, we're going to discuss all that. Well, you see fictional characters in movies, obviously. And some of these movies have fictional characters that wear a particular kind of luxury watch. They're usually a high-end sports watch. And the character in the fictional movie is doing all kinds of tricks with this sports high-end luxury watch. Now, some of the kids watch this and they think that's just great. They want to get their own watch like that. There's only a couple of differences though. The one in the movie, that it's all kind of a modified trickery and everything in the movie. Special effects, if you want to call it that. So kids think that's going to be the greatest thing to get. And as adults, they've saved $10,000 or something like that and bought that watch. And that's how a movie has influenced someone to buy a watch. And also on the other end of it, there's millionaires and billionaires. And they'll wear a certain kind of watch. It can be a very expensive watch, or it can be actually a very cheap watch. And some people get really impressed by that because some billionaires wearing a certain kind of brand or watch. And they just think that's so impressive and they want that same watch for themselves. So these are people that are influenced by movies and billionaires and media stars, royalty, anybody that has a lot of appearances in the media, television. Could be TV shows. So some people are just influenced by what somebody that has a lot of media coverage is wearing, and they want to wear the same watch. They don't think about what they want to wear as what they like. They want to wear what they're influenced by movies and what they see billionaires wearing or anybody in the media. Now, when you think about this, there's marketing involved in this. Somebody isn't just wearing a watch because for no reason in a movie. This could be a marketing deal that this character in the film is wearing the watch. It could even be a marketing deal that somebody in the media, popular media person, could be somebody from big business, whatever, is wearing a certain watch. It could be very well that they're getting paid to wear this watch. It could be very well that they own stocks in the company and they're just, well, somebody could have a lot of companies, right? Like involved with stocks. And they're just wearing a certain watch that they have stocks in the company. That's why they're wearing the watch. But some people, they just take all this hook, line, and sinker. They just believe it as it's fed to them. And you can see the connection here, how it's influenced the children, don't you? Like, children watch the movies and it just sticks in them until they're adults or older, then they buy the watch. And when you think of it, it's something like McDonald's. Restaurants similar to McDonald's, and McDonald's especially, where when you're a child, you see all these advertisements on television about McDonald's. You're watching your Saturday morning cartoons. Every advertisement's about McDonald's and some other fast food restaurants similar. And you start thinking as a child, well, that's normal. That's the place you want to go to have a good time. That's normal. That goes with having a good time watching your cartoons. You're getting brainwashed. You think, well, if I'm going to have a good time at a restaurant, I got to go to McDonald's. That's the place to be. They associate with it, cartoons, having a good time, characters, the whole thing. And it's the same, similar kind of thing with watches. And you can even compare it to sports. Now, if you're a child, a young person, you're playing hockey, you see hockey stars wearing certain brands, and they make it well known that you got to know that they're wearing this brand. They'll have you to know this. And you might think to yourself, if you're impressionable, you'll think, well, if I'm going to be a good hockey player, I got to use that brand of hockey stick, I got to use those brand of skates, I got to use that brand of helmet, etc., etc. And it just, you're brainwashed and you're conditioned to be a slave, told what you want to buy. And same thing with musical instruments too. Now, you take musical instruments, you see some rock star playing a certain guitar. Some people think, well, that's the guitar I gotta have. But they don't think about like the sponsorships. Another thing too is that these guitars that a rock star is playing is not like the guitar off the shelf for the most part. They're usually modified in the neck. The frets are modified. The fretboard, fingerboard, whatever you want to call it, is modified. The electronics, the pickups are usually modified. They will pick a guitar that has the truss rod in the neck, will sit with the wood a certain way. They just don't pick up anything off the shelf. They pick up the perfect guitar that has a truss rod that presses on the wood just set in that neck the perfect way. So that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with somebody who has a guitar that has had a guitar technician or a guitar expert hot rod this guitar. You're not going to sound like them anyway because they go through the professional studios. They also have modified amplifiers for the most part. They go through the studio. They have a signature sound. You're not going to get this sound perfectly anyway. But see how you're influenced to buy that brand of guitar. Same with watches, similar. And the watches are gifted. Guitars are gifted. These products are gifted so that the person that's known in the media will use it, wear it, whatever. Now, going back to the billionaires, you notice these philanthropists. So you see a big billionaire and all of a sudden he's telling everyone, I'm a philanthropist. Now, a philanthropist to me is a hypocrite for the most part. They're trying to tell you that they've made billions of dollars and they're philanthropists. We don't make billions of dollars giving away money, so just put two and two together. Now, they'll wear a cheap watch, some of these philanthropists. Now, you think about that. That's brainwashing. If they came along wearing a $20,000 watch and they say, I'm a philanthropist, I want donations for my foundation. I want you guys to donate to my foundation. Now, if you're wearing, or the philanthropist is wearing a $20,000 watch, somebody just might say, well, why should I donate money to you? You're wearing a $20,000 watch. You're a philanthropist. So they'll fool you wearing a $50 watch or a $25 watch. They got you all fooled. They say, oh, what a good philanthropist. He's wearing a $25 watch. He's wearing a $50 watch. Better donate to his charities and foundations. You know what these guys got for sale? They got power for sale, guys. Think about it. These guys have power for sale. They'll take your donations, but with the other global elites, they got power for sale. That's what the trick is here. It can get pretty deep, you guys. You can do a lot of research and get down the rabbit hole on this stuff. But these guys have power for sale. So they're hypocrites. And I don't donate to any of these billionaires. I don't donate to any of these philanthropists, billionaires. I don't believe them. But if you take a look, they're wearing, some of them will wear a cheap watch because they're going to say, well, if he's wearing a $20,000 watch, like there's children starving in the world, what a hypocrite. Well, he's going to fool you wearing that $50 watch. Now, when these philanthropists are not in front of the cameras and the media, what do you think they're wearing? They're wearing their $20,000 watch. When they're around their other global elites, they're wearing their high-end watches. They're not going into a big party with global elites and we're, oh, look everybody, I'm wearing my $50 watch. I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, royalty, like royalty will go out and wear something. People's like, oh, well, look how nice they look in that outfit. Look how nice they look in that watch. Oh, I'd like to get that for myself. Do you think these people actually pay for the stuff they're wearing? Think about that. They're not paying for the stuff they're wearing. A lot of the stuff is gifted to them. It's paid for by the taxpayers, everything. Corporate owners. They got everybody fooled. Not everybody, but, you know, everybody that suckers into it. Royalty. They want people to worship them as gods. These philanthropists and billionaires, they want people to worship them as gods. And the companies are working with them. They got a watch on, they got a hat on, they got something. And some people just sucker right into it. Oh, well, that watch is more valuable because so-and-so's wearing it. No, it's not. It is to the suckers, the slaves that fall for it. It's valuable to them. But not everybody's a slave. They're brainwashed sheep. They can't think for themselves. So they'll see a guy in a movie or somebody in the media, it could be anybody that's popular in the media, and they see what they're wearing, what they're doing, and they want to do it themselves. But that, you know what? Let's say you're wearing the same watch as some guy in a movie, a fictional character is wearing in a movie. They're going to look at you and say, oh, look at the wannabe. It doesn't get you anywhere, I don't think. Maybe amongst the own brainwashed crowd it might, but I think the only way you can go after this, if you see some popular person in the media or a fictional character wearing a watch, let's say, it's very interesting to you, just look at it as interesting. That's the way I do it. I just look at it as interesting, but I don't take it any further than that. Oh, interesting. But I don't run out and save money or, oh, I'm not going to buy a car and I'm going to buy the same watch a fictional character in a movie's buying or wearing. Yeah, wearing for free, and it's just a modified thing to show tricks on the movie. Yeah, right. I mean, that's kind of a childish way of thinking when you think of it. And it's the children that are really get impressed with this, you know. And it's not all children, but some of them. Like I said earlier, they want to get you as a child. They want to brainwash you as a child. So, if you want to break away from this, you wear what you like. Be yourself for a change. Don't fall for the marketing tricks. Don't fall for the billionaire and millionaire tricks. Don't fall for the philanthropist tricks. Don't fall for it. You know what? Some people even go to the extent of wearing fake watches and Frankenstein watches just to be like a guy, a fictional character in a movie. How pathetic is that when you think of it? Going out and wearing a fake watch or a Frankenstein watch because some fictional character in a movie's wearing it. Think about that. Isn't that pathetic? Isn't that a little bit on the childish side too? It is. But you can't blame children. Children are brainwashed from birth. The media, the advertising, the brainwashing is right there. They get them when they're young. But when you're an adult, you know, it's about time to grow up. And these companies, they try any trickery to make more money. Companies just want to make more money. Watch companies too, they want to make more money. So they're going to try any kind of trickery to make that money. They'll brainwash you any way they can to make this money. They hire experts. They hire people that know this stuff, like marketing specialists, to market and sell these watches to make more money. They want to increase their stocks. They want to make more money. Like you look at Rolex, for example. Like shortages of watches. They want people to be like communists, lining up to get a watch, going on a waiting list. Have you ever taken communism in school? Well, if you have, remember when you took communism in school? What did the communist countries do? Oh, there's shortages, yeah. People line up for a loaf of bread in communist countries. Did you ever take that in school? Now you see the parallel to the Rolex. Oh, Shortage. Oh, you got to put yourself on a waiting list. Oh, the communist country. Oh, you got to put yourself on a waiting list for a loaf of bread. Oh, you got to put yourself on a waiting list for everything in a communist country. Shortages, lining up, long lines, nothing available. If you ever took communism in school, that's what they told you. Unless you went to a university, and then they kind of change that over and tell you communism is good if you got a communist teacher, right? They'll say, yeah, freedom of speech is bad, and you got to be like say things to please feminism and all that. But that's another topic. You know, a good watch is a good watch regardless of who wears it. Just because a philanthropist is wearing a watch, just because a fictional character in a movie is wearing a watch, just because some popular media person is wearing a watch, does not make it any better. It makes it better to the brainwashed sheep. It makes it better for the suckers, but it really doesn't make it better. And I think you could change, if you're getting fooled by this, like fooled by thinking watches are better because it's worn by a fictional character, etc., start to like watches because of their technical features. Start to like watches because of their specifications. Start to like watches how they perform. Start to like watches because of the value for the money. Just don't sit around and be brainwashed and fed your thoughts that, oh, well, the watch is better because a popular media person's wearing it. Oh, the watch is better because a guy in a movie's wearing it. Like, just start to think. So you guys, I hope this stuff is helping you. And I want to have a discussion on this. I just threw some ideas. It's just an informal video. And just to throw some ideas about this. And you guys can comment in the comment section. But you ever notice a lot of discussion on watches? Not all of them, but there's quite a lot of discussions where, oh, the fictitious character in the movie is wearing the watch. Oh, this philanthropist is wearing that watch. Oh my God, it's just like an idol now. No. So wear what you like. Start to think for yourselves. Start to think about money and value. Start to think about the technical specifications. There's a lot of things about watches you can think about. Like you can think about the servicing of the watch. You can think about, like I said, the performance. Don't just base your watches on what some fictional character's wearing in a movie. And what some royal person's wearing on television you see, or philanthropists or big billionaires, heads of corporations, what they're wearing. Like, when the camera's off, they're probably not even wearing that watch anyway. Really, think about it. And fictitious characters, well, they're just going to be wearing whatever they're sponsored to wear. Like, they make movies to sell movies. So they're going to put that watch on the fictitious character, whatever helps to sell that movie. Whatever impresses the kids, whatever. So, think about the watches. Think about the musical instruments. Think about the sports equipment. And kind of tie it all in together. And I think if you start to think about it, you start getting the picture if you don't understand it. Like, some people understand this right off the bat, but for those that don't understand it, you can start to think about it and see the connections, right? So, that's about it for now, you guys. So, I'll talk to you again. So, good luck and everything, and do your research.